welcome back to Sip Fearlessly. Whoop, whoop. It's been a minute since I've been here. So shout out to BronxNet. Definitely missed being in the studio. I've been behind the camera for a minute now. Shout out to Trigger Warning. Shout out to Tapping with TT. That's been two really great projects to be working on. So definitely grateful, but I am back in the studio and I'm happy to be here. I have a great guest here today. I want to shout out my sister as well, who's not here, Gigi. But it's been an incredible run with Sip Fearlessly. So I want to thank every single person who has supported the show, who has shared the show, who has liked it, who has gone to our YouTube page. Even our guests who have been on here, like, we're so, so grateful. We've had such a great time. We've met such incredible people and we've been inspired. So thank you guys. As we wrap up the year, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, all right? And I also hope everybody's being okay.
Absolutely, that's the main thing.
It's been quite crazy in the country, right, with everything that's going on. I don't want to start off in a damper mood, you know, but I do want to do like a pulse check because there's been a lot going on, you know what I mean? This shutdown is crazy, very unexpected. I just feel like, what's next?
You know, we take one day at a time. I feel like in life, you control what you can, you know?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we keep it moving.
Yeah, that's it. But make sure you stay close to your loved ones. You know, I think that's important during this time because I know a lot of us are going through things. And yeah, check on your neighbor, check on your strong friends, right?
Important.
All of that good stuff.
Come together, baby, come together.
Come together, yes. But I'm happy to be here and I have my amazing guest, Pen Ken, in the building.
Love, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm in the Bronx, baby, New York. What's good?
That's right. Straight from Chicago and LA.
Chicago and LA.
Yes, I love that. So before I even dive into my questions, tell us a little bit about yourself, like your background, so we could tie it all in with all the amazing things you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, before I get into that, I want to say you keep going on all the amazing things that you're doing with women empowerment, and your platform is great. You're a great person, so you keep on going and keep on touching and impacting the world.
I appreciate that.
For sure.
Thank you.
I had to show you love. You know, my background, I'm born and raised in the Chicago area.
Okay.
And after I used to play sports.
Okay.
So after high school graduation, I went to college in Arizona, and I knew I always wanted to be an artist. I knew I always wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I just didn't know how that was going to happen. So after I left Arizona, I just knew the corporate world wasn't for me. I knew that in high school. So I just took my chances, and after I left college, I moved to LA, and boots on the ground, no family, no friends. I went out there not knowing anyone, but I wasn't homesick. I've always been a fearless, you know, person mindset, and I show love, and I like to do things with morals and good intention. I've always been the one that believe in myself. You know, no one had to believe in me because I've always believed in myself. And when people believe in you, it helps when you have the confidence already.
That's so true.
So, you know, I started doing a lot of modeling. Remember back in the day when the Fat Farms and the Sean Johns and the FUBU, so around that era, early 2000s, late 90s, I was doing a lot of modeling, runway shows, Vegas, New York, and whatnot. I started working for MTV. I got opportunities to work with Playboy, was doing a lot of parties, Playboy Mansion. Those are some crazy times. You know, one thing led to another in a nutshell of as far as what led to what I'm doing today. But I've been in the game 20 years, and my experience comes from TV, film, the music industry, publishing, sports, and I'm just very grateful and blessed by the opportunities I've been given, but betting on myself at the same time.
I love that. Well, it seems like you've been betting on yourself for a long time, since the beginning, since you were young. And I think that, I like that you shared that, because I think it's important for us to expand, you know, our reach, right? So I talk to the youth a lot here, and I have children myself, you know, so I always talk to them about not, you know, yes, we love the Bronx, you know, we come from the Bronx, but not to pigeonhole ourselves here. To travel, to see, you know, other cultures, see what opportunities are out there, because I think that's important, and I think you never know where the opportunity is going to come from. So I love that you've been bold and fearless and stepped out of your comfort zone.
It's really important, and I will say to all parents out there, you're a parent, I'm a parent. One thing that helped my journey, my parents never tried to make me into someone they wanted me to be. They supported my dream and what I wanted to do. So parents, support your kids. They may not want to do what you thought their path was going to be, but if it's not illegal and it's positive, you know, rock with them.
Yeah.
Show love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So hip hop started as a movement for people, right? Do you think today's industry still reflects that purpose, or has it lost its touch and its roots a little bit?
It lost. It lost its touch. Hip hop today is not what hip hop was in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s. And it's sad, but hip hop used to be for the people. When we spoke culture, it got originated from the Bronx, obviously, and then it went from the Bronx worldwide. But we've lost sight of what hip hop means.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was all about artist development. You know, you go get somebody from the streets and the trenches with the best talent in the world, and you put them in development, you go get them a deal, and they become stars. Now, it's not about your talent. It's not, artist development is outside of the game. It's about what's your numbers on social media. You don't even gotta have the talent. If you got a big following, you're gonna get a record deal. Not only that, we're in the generation of AI. They're making music artists and records with robots.
Yes.
So anytime you take the human touch out of hip hop and music and culture, we lost.
Yeah.
I don't think hip hop is ever going to get back to a place at what it was back in the day because of AI, because of there's no more artist development. So we're in trying times in hip hop. We're in trying times.
We are, and I just saw the other day that an AI hip hop artist, I believe it was, just got signed to a $3 million deal.
Blowing up. I know what you're talking about. I saw that too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
It makes people lazy. Think about it. If you don't got to write records no more, produce records, if an artist don't have to be an artist and you just pushing buttons, where's the talent?
Yeah.
We become lazy with hip hop.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah, and I think it's also like the overexposure with social media, right? So like social media is great. You know, I'm not gonna knock it. We all use it for business purposes, to connect with other people, connect with people outside of your community, right? Because we didn't have that before. But I do feel like social media has also been a part of people losing their essence, because they care so much about, you know, first and foremost, we're all looking at what everybody's doing, which we shouldn't be doing that, right? We should be focused on what our goals are, you know, growth within ourselves and things like that. So we get lost in that, and then we think that we have to compete all the time, or we have to copy somebody else's blueprint instead of bringing originality. And I think that that's exactly what's happening in like hip hop, you know? So
I'm not even on social media. I haven't
That's
been on social
good.
media for a decade. The only thing I'm on is LinkedIn, because I
Okay.
tell people that's where the real business happens.
Oh, yes.
A lot of other stuff, smoke and mirrors. So, you know, if you good at what you do and you have the relationships and people respect you,
Right.
one dot is going to connect to the other. You don't have to be, social media sometimes can be smoke and mirrors.
I love that you said that. See, y'all, we don't have to be using
Smoke and mirrors.
social
You don't
media
gotta do
all the
that.
time.
Believe in yourself. Use your talent. Let the work
Yes.
speak for itself. I'm the
Yes.
type of person, I don't do all the talking and
Yes.
overexposing. I'm going to let
Right.
my work speak.
Yeah, social media is not your identity. You know, like grassroots, like we're our own walking brand.
There you go. There
That's
you go.
it. Just focus on that. Focus on being a good person. Continue to push your mission forward, and that's it. Absolutely, 1,000%. All right. So you work in education. You
Yes.
create educational materials, which we're going to dive into a
It's
little
a
bit.
blessing too, by the way.
Yes, and you do that through hip hop.
Yes.
So do you ever get any pushback from people who still see hip hop as too raw for the classrooms?
Well, you know, it may have been a little bit more taboo back in the day, but
Yeah.
now I think people as a whole, we come to realize how far hip hop has grown.
Right.
So the schools, the educators, they love that I was able to bring something to the market that really dove. Because think about it, when we grew up in school, we learned about who the presidents are, we learned about these different holidays and
Right.
all this historical stuff. But nobody ever taught hip hop in school. So that was one new thing that I wanted to bring to the market. I'm like, growing up, these kids, they learn everything else. Why are we not getting taught about, they teach you about jazz music and all this, you know, country music. Where's hip hop? And
Yeah.
is it because, you know, some of it is degrading or some of it is controversial? Okay, but that's the culture, that's life. That don't mean that kids that's growing up in these environments should know where they come from and, you know, where it started, where the trend
Right.
started. So that was my purpose for wanting to bring that to the market,
Right.
to be authentic, because mainstream publishing is white America. Let's just keep it real. We don't get a lot of chances. They call it the Power Five. You know, HarperCollins, Penguin Random House, Simon Schuster, Macmillan, Scholastic. You know, the Power Five
Yeah.
don't really. You know, traditionally we haven't got a lot of opportunities to showcase
Right.
our story. So I wanted to bring something different to the game.
Yeah, I like that because that's what our kids are listening to. they're super tapped in, right? Especially because of TikTok, right?
Absolutely.
So they're super tapped into the hip hop culture, you know, and unfortunately, some of it does have a negative connotation to it. But I think if we start bringing, like you said, the hip hop conversation, even the hip hop artists into the classrooms and have them talk to the students and relate to them, you know, and tell them that there are opportunities for them, you know, out there in the future. And, you know, just pouring positivity into them, I think it'll change the narrative.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and change how we think about it. Because, you know, honestly, like, I was one of those people too that was like, well, you know, the education here now, a lot of principals, a lot of, you know, staff in the schools, they want artists to come in and things like that. And I was just like, but why? If there's people
Right.
like us who are regular Joes who are also doing great work, right?
Absolutely.
But I understand why now. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, this is what the kids are connecting to. So why not bring them the person who they're listening to and have them speak and pour some positivity into them?
Connection is
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
What you connect with, what you resonate with, that's what you want in your life. That's
Yeah.
what you want to soak into your soul,
Yes.
you know?
And then we come in and do our thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we always don't step on it, foot on gas.
That's right. So let's keep it in hip hop.
Okay.
In your opinion, who are the true legends of hip hop that don't get the credit they deserve, and why do you think that
Ooh,
is?
that's a great question. Who don't get the credit they deserve? I think the South needs a little more credit.
Okay.
Even though the South been like running the game for the last decade, but New York and LA is always going to be the essence of hip hop. You know, obviously New York, and then when you go to LA, you know, from Dr. Dre and everybody,
Yeah.
and you know NWA, Ice Cube, Snoop, and then New York, you know, so many artists that birthed it. But I feel like the South is still growing. But I feel like what the South has done in hip hop, it needs to be talked about more. The way that you talk about New York and LA, because South been running it for about 10 years.
Right. That's
Yeah.
so true.
So I would say the
That's true.
South, you know, keep putting them in that conversation more.
Nice, nice. Okay, okay. So you're also here for something amazing today.
Yes.
Right? You have an incredible event. You're working on the documentary.
Yes.
Like, talk to us a little bit about that, and also about the books that you created that are centered around Tupac, Biggie, Queen Latifah,
Yeah.
and now Kid and Play. So
Kid and Play.
congratulations on
Thank
all
you.
of that.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so much. You know,
Yes.
it's always a blessing when someone love your work and love what you do. I don't take this for granted. I show love. There's always gratitude with me. I like to see people smile and laugh and be happy. That's just what I like to bring to the world. But while I'm in New York today, I'm doing something great at Storyland.
Yes. Shout out to Sulma.
Shout out to Sulma.
Storyland.
Shout out
Yes.
to Storyland. We're doing some great things these couple days in the city for the kids, for the youth. We're doing a panel with a lot of influence from around the city of New York, speaking on hip hop,
Yeah.
music and dance and marketing and promotions. Tomorrow we're teaming up with schools and we're going to have a whole bunch of kids in Storylands. It's going to be a book signing. It's going to be breakout sessions. And it's going to be just a lot of talk about the culture. Shout out to Rocky in the Hip Hop Museum. He's one of
Okay,
our partners
yes.
as well. I remember a few years ago when he took me over there with the Hard Hat Tour when they was just building, right? And to see what Rocky is doing at the Hip Hop Museum now,
Yeah.
I feel like he is the first one in hip hop that's really is going to bring education from an overall level with that museum, and it's right here in the Bronx. So I feel like
it.
what's being built over there is next level. And Storyland being right there too. The Drew Barrymore Show just produced a segment on
Right.
Storyland a few days ago.
Yes.
So I'm grateful for my partners. I love what we're doing for education and the kids. And as far as the books, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
a story. So when I first created the series, it was originally called Hip Hop Gods.
Okay.
It was called Hip Hop Gods, and I'm not gonna say their names,
Okay.
but so Legends of Hip Hop is a 4-book series. Pac, Biggie, Kid and Play, Queen Latifah. It was called Hip Hop Gods. I had 4 hip hop acts that was signed on or committed to wanting to do the books. 3 of them was from New York.
Okay.
The big rappers from the 80s, early 90s. I don't gotta say their names for you to probably know, you know,
Right,
which ones I'm talking
right.
about. It's only a handful. So I had 3 of them signed up. I had one of the biggest female rappers of all time from the 90s, my favorite that I was working with at the time, signed up and wanted to do a book. So when we took it to HarperCollins, my editor, Luana, she did LeBron James' book, she did Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union's book, Pete the Cat. She's the senior editor at HarperCollins, and she's the one that gave me my deal. She said, look, I love this. it's nothing like this on the market. She said, this can take over the game. She said, I want this. She said, I want a series. I don't want to do a one-off. Let's do the series. So when I told her what hip-hop legends I had attached to it, she was like, I'm fans of all of them. They are great, but I want to take it to another level. I said, what do you mean? She said, I'm going to figure out legally how we can work with anybody we want to work with, dead or alive. She said, who's your favorite rapper of all time? I said, Tupac.
Yes.
She said, that can be the first book. Write the manuscript. I'm gonna take it up top after you do it, and let's see if we can get this 4-book deal done. We turned it in. They was blown away. She said, we want to sign you to a 4-book deal. What other 3 artists do you want to, don't worry about legal. We'll work with the name and likeness on it. I said, well, you can't do Tupac and don't do Biggie. Their lives, unfortunately, you know, in a negative way, but it can be positive the way you look at it as far as what people learn from those situations.
Yep.
I said, their lives go together. I said, you do Tupac, you got to do Biggie. She said, cool. Said, we got to have a female, women empowerment. She said, she gave me a list of options. She said, Salt and Pepper, MC Light, Missy. She gave me Queen Latifah. I said, I want to do Queen Latifah because she has the biggest record ever. There will never be a female empowerment record in hip hop that will ever be bigger than Unity. She set the trend as far as empowering women in hip hop. I said, we got to tell kids about Unity and what Queen Latifah meant to the game. And I said, for the 4th book, I said, we got Pac and Biggie, solo artists, Latifah, female empowerment. I said, for the last one, I don't want to do a solo artist, I want to do a group. So they was like, so we was choosing between Kid and Play, DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, Run DMC, you know, a few others, Outkast. I was like, oh, I'm doing Kid and Play. That's my favorite group. House Party, one of my favorite movies. They started TikTok.
Iconic.
They started TikTok, the dances and stuff. So I said, you know, I want to do this last one with Kid and Play. And that just released in stores nationwide. It just came out 2 weeks ago. So check that out when you get a chance. I appreciate it. So that's the story, the backstory of how I decided on those names.
I love that. That's so amazing, so inspiring. So like, man, you know, all of the work that y'all are doing with the youth and education and bringing a different twist to how we're educating the students now is so amazing. Like, thank you for that. Because we do need, you know, the biggest issues that we face are student engagement, attendance, you know, things like that, social emotional intelligence, right? So when we have these curriculums, these books that are connected to things that and people they can relate to, it's going to make it so much better. Their learning experience is going to make it so much better.
And
so
I'm
thank you for
I'm
that.
still learning, you know, because we're in a new generation. So, you know, teaching these kids about things that we grew up on, that's a different experience.
Absolutely.
You know?
So real quick, what made you go into education and the youth? What's your passion?
My daughter. I have a 9-year-old daughter, and at the time I got all my book deals 2021. My agent was like, don't you want to do something for your daughter, like something her age range or something that she can relate to? At the time she was like 4 or 5, and I had never thought about being an author or a children's book author ever, right? And I was like, you know what, I want to do something that her age range can relate to. Before I had my daughter, I used to throw like the biggest parties, like, you know what I mean? I was like in that lifestyle. And when I had her, my priorities became different. When I became a father, she really changed my life. And when I saw what fatherhood was about, a lot of stuff that I thought was important wasn't important anymore. So I wanted to start having purpose in my moves and the things that I was doing moving forward. So that's where that idea came from.
I love that. I love that. How does she feel about the books?
Oh, she loved it. She loved it. She be bragging to her friends in school every time a book dropped. And you know, I also dropped with HarperCollins and Penguin Random House. I have 2 of the biggest artists. One of the biggest artists in the Caribbean. Her grandfather started the music genre soca. Rod Shorty, Nyla Blackman. That's what Penguin Random House. I did that book. And then I did Miss V. She's one of the biggest artists in Africa. She had a big hit record called Natural Girl. I took her hit record and turned that into a children's book called Natural Me. It was a big billboard in Times Square. I mean, it was major. That's what HarperCollins as well. So I'm an author, but I'm a book producer as well, where I work with a lot of different people and create their projects and get them deals.
I love that. That's so exciting.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for like being open to both genders, right? So not only focusing on our boys, but also bringing that female empowerment and that conversation among young girls too. I love that. I love that.
It's important.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I come from a great mother and grandmothers,
Right.
rest in peace, and just women in my family that paved the way for me. And I just feel like as men, we need to support women more.
Yes.
A lot of men, I'm gonna keep it 100, are insecure if a woman is doing great things and
Yeah.
getting money and shining in big jobs. And I want to tell the guys, like, let your woman shine. Or even if it's not your woman, even if it's just a woman that you're working with, support women. You know, when you're seeing women do great things, let's rock with that at the highest level.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We need each other.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We need each
And
other.
the woman
that
is always the
foundation
rock.
is important.
The woman is the rock.
Yeah, that is it's important. It's important to have that. You don't want to, you know, there was a conversation that was had earlier where they were talking about how some of us just focus on the grind. And yes, we may get to the next level, but when we get there, we're like, who do we celebrate it with? There's nobody there to celebrate
That's
it with.
real
You know
talk.
what I mean? So it's super important to have like a supportive partner, you know, supportive friend, you know, whatever it is, but definitely super important. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
definitely important.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about educating with beats and bars. And how are you convincing educators that that's important?
With beats and bars. You know, to be honest, there hasn't been a lot of convincing, right?
Okay.
Because the parents and the teachers and the librarians are more excited about the books than the kids. Because
Okay.
you have to understand, the kids didn't grow up in our generation.
Right,
They
right.
don't know about those artists, but the parents do. The
Right.
teachers, the librarians. So when I came out with that, like the beats and the rhymes and just how I brought all of that into education, because it's an education factor too. You know, Tupac is teaching you the alphabet, Latifah,
Yes.
you know, how to count, Biggie opposites, Kid and Play rhymes. So it's very creative on how we did it where, okay, we teaching you about hip hop, but you're learning. You're learning how to count. You're learning your ABCs. You're learning what rhyming is. You're learning what opposites are.
Right.
So I had to do it in a way, or, you know, my agent, she the one that brought me into the game and gave me a lot of advice as far as, if we tell these kids about hip hop, we got to make sure they're learning at the same time, educational wise. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I like that. Also, deciphering bars could be very educational.
yes,
Yes. So I
Absolutely.
love that. It's making me think. I don't want to say it out loud.
Go ahead,
But
go ahead.
I have some ideas.
Talk your talk.
Yes, I have some ideas. I'll share them with
Okay.
you. Because we have to figure out how these kids are learning. What's the best way for them to learn,
Right, right.
Because what we've been institutionalized with is not working anymore, obviously. So instead of thinking of just systemically shutting down the education system, no, let's think about what are some creative things we can add to their curriculum that will make them more engaged, right?
Do you feel like being from the Bronx, this is a great, something I want to know from someone that's
Yeah.
from the Bronx. With the Bronx being the birth of hip hop, do you feel like the kids growing up in this, not our generation, but the kids growing up in the Bronx now, the elementary kids, junior high school kids,
Yeah.
do you think they really understand the significance of hip hop being from the Bronx, or they take it for granted because they grew up here their whole life and they don't really get it?
The latter. I think they don't really understand the significance because it was already around when they came around.
Right, right.
You know, we have seen it almost from the beginning, right? Or our parents have, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, it's lost the significance. So having the hip hop museum here is super dope because
Right.
now we can take the kids on a field trip there. You know what I mean? So they can see the history and everything. But I do feel like it's lost. Yeah, I feel
It's
like it's
lost a
lost its
little bit.
essence. Yeah, that's why I'm saying this is so cool.
Yeah,
you know,
this is-
and you can incorporate so many different things. Like they can learn financial literacy. They can learn
yes.
history. You know, using rhyme and rhythm.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So I love that.
That's
I love
why
that.
I need the great Sue Fearless.
Yeah.
That's why we
Listen,
got to rock and roll.
Listen, I'm full of ideas and creativity.
Okay,
So
I see that.
Let's talk.
Absolutely.
But you've partnered with brands like Adidas, ESPN, Fox. How do you ensure those collaborations are not exploiting our culture, but are actually uplifting it?
That's a great question. Anytime I work with sports athletes, I work in the realms of WNBA, NBA, college sports, WWE, boxing, all these different type of sports. And I do a lot within women empowerment with women athletes. I always make sure when we work with brands or different companies in that sports space that our stories are getting told by community, by youth, whether if it's from panels, whether if it's camps in the community, whether if it's commercials and content that's showcasing what that athlete is about. I don't do cookie cutter stuff. When I work with an athlete and we team up with brands, like let's go back to the neighborhood. Let's go back on the block where they from, and I wanna know how was you growing up and when things weren't going right. Not when you made it.
Right.
Not when you started doing your thing. Let's go back to the trenches and talk to people that taught you and coached you and mentored you. So I always want to make things authentic from a storytelling standpoint. If it's not authentic so I'm a storyteller. And if it don't resonate with me from a story standpoint, I can't rock with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, Shaq has a show, I think it's on Netflix.
With Iverson, with Reebok, when they did Reebok,
That, I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, Reebok has been around for a long time, but most of us focus on like Nike and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool that they, you know, taught us the history behind Reebok and they were reviving it.
We all had Allen Iversons.
Yes.
We all had Iverson shoes.
What?
That's a great documentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extremely great documentary. So we don't have so much time left, but the theme of your tour is understanding our purpose. How has your personal purpose evolved from entertainment to education and empowerment?
And I'm gonna go back to, like I said, when I had my daughter. My purpose evolved when I had her. It just made me realize things just can't be about doing things for fun.
Yeah.
You gotta touch people, you gotta impact people. And impact comes in different, ways, right?
Right.
And how you impact one person may be a lot different than how you impact the next. So as long as I'm making somebody smile and laugh and feeling inspired, feeling like anything is possible, dream big, be fearless,
Right.
Then I've done my job.
Yeah.
When you in my company, I'm always gonna make sure you're having a good time and you inspired. I'm gonna make sure the conversation is engaging. If you're having a bad day, let's talk about it.
Right.
I'm not the type of person, I don't wanna hear what you're going through.
Right.
You're not gonna burden me, and no, I'm all ears. You're going through something, let's talk about it. Even if I can't do nothing about it, how can I help inspire you to maybe change the thinking of the situation?
Right.
So that I feel like that's my purpose. Making sure when someone is in my company that it's a vibe all the way around.
Leaving people better than they arrived.
There you go.
I love that.
1,000.
I love that.
1,000.
So we don't have time left. This was a great conversation.
This is great.
I definitely want you to come back. We have to finish this.
Anytime.
Yes, but let everybody know about the tour and where they can follow you and grab the books.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for everything. Bronx, New York, stand up. Thank you for having me. Like I said earlier in the conversation, you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it.
This is great. And thank you for having me on your platform.
Yeah.
The books, Legends in Hip Hop, Tupac, Biggie, Queen Latifah, Kid and Play, where all books are sold nationwide, Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. I'm on my movie run right now too. 4 movies written and directed within the year that's coming out. Hitting different cities, pull up in your city. Dates will be on LinkedIn and online. But thank you, New York. Thank you, BronxNet. Thank you, Sue Fearless.
Thank you.
Legends in Hip Hop. And November is National Hip Hop Month, guys. So, salute to hip hop, to the Bronx. Love.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching Sip Fearlessly. I can't wait for you guys to catch this full episode, and we'll see you soon.